Hey, class. Today I'm going to talk to you a bit about the workers of the fur trade. So, the people involved in it. It's on page 5.15 in the ebook. I'm not positive where exactly in the textbook, but it's this blue section that has the trap on it. Um, that trap is a beaver trap. Says there that it would be snapping shut on a beaver's leg, so the rest of the pelt would not be damaged. So the beaver would get trapped in that, and hunters would later come by and kill it if it was not already dead. So other workers of the fur trade, I got to get off that photo. Workers of the fur trade relied on the hard work of Europeans and Native Americans. Hundreds of people did many things there. The trader, also known as a wintering partner, was in charge of one or more trading posts. The more furs he got, the more money he made, and he was usually already a wealthy person or came from a wealthy family. Um, these partners, wintering partners, would travel from post to post over the winter to kind of oversee what was happening in those places. The clerk worked under the partner. He was in charge of a trading post sometimes. Sometimes he just managed the day to day business, keeping accounts, supervising people, packing up pelts for shipping. He could read, he could write, much like the trader, but wasn't necessarily a rich, high status, social kind of person. Um, Voyageurs, these were the workmen. These were the guys in the canoes, hauling the heavy loads. If you paid attention earlier, up to 90 pounds each pack, and they would carry two at a time. So, like up to 180 pounds. Most voyagers were French Canadian. Very few, though, could actually read or write. So, they were really there to do the work. Hunters were Dakota and Ojibwe men. They would spend the winter gathering the animals for their pelts. They hunted in the winter because the fur would be thicker. Um, they used snares, metal traps, spears to gather as many animals as they could. Pelt preparers were the Dakota and Ojibwe women. They would carefully cut the skin and the meat off of the animal once it was inside out. Uh, Interesting fact, too, the brains of an animal have a certain chemical in it that would make that hide softer. So if they're tanning a hide, like they're making a buckskin, like if you think of a Dakota teepee where the fur is all off of it, it's just the skin. They would use the brains and rub that on there because of the chemical in it that would work with that. The Dakota and Ojibwe were also suppliers. They would give food, meat, wild rice, clothing like moccasins or some mukluk type boots kind of thing too. Um, some also gave canoes. Ojibwe and Dakota were also guides. They would bring people that were unfamiliar with the land to where they were trying to go. And another role, usually a Dakota or an Ojibwe, but sometimes European, Frenchmen, or Englishmen learned each other's languages and they would interpret it for each other. Um, so they could travel with people and negotiate along the way. So if a person was going to a Dakota place but didn't know any of the Dakota language, he'd bring an interpreter with so they could do the trade. So that's just a quick look at who some of the workers were in the fur trade. Questions? We're all on Google Meets every day, sometime or other. Check us out. Have a good one.